So you want to hang wallpaper around shelves. This is a difficult task. I wouldn't suggest that a do-it-yourselfer jump into it unless you buy double the amount of wallpaper that you need. Then I would say do it, because you always learn from your mistakes. What I'm going to show you is the result of many years of mistakes. So you see this bracket? Some of you are going to say you should have taken it off. Not always the case. I took a bracket off for a customer recently. I took the thing off. I couldn't get it back on because the studs behind the wall were not vertical. Whatever they did behind the wall, the bracket did not go back in place. There was no wood there. So I don't touch things like locks and brackets if I don't have to. This is very simple if you really think about it. We're going to have a shelf over here. An inch above and an inch below the bracket will be covered by a shelf. There's room for error here. But did you ever try to do this? Put this through the wallpaper? You're always off, right? I did this when I was a kid. 2 inches above, 2 inches below. Here's how to do it. Can you bring them in over here? So, it's very logical though if you think about it. You know that this has to penetrate the wallpaper at a point at which the wallpaper and this pole is horizontally level. So I take my, we'll just show them up here. I take my wallpaper and I bring the wallpaper out 90 degrees from the wall, which means what? The wallpaper is over here. Just show them over here too, because they have to see that it's installed over here. Just show them right here. See, it's installed. But now, watch this. If I do this, let me just show them. Yeah, can you just back up? If I try to play games with it like this, it's not 90 degrees with this pole, and I'm gonna make the hole in the wrong place. So I pull it out, and now my wall is this way, and my wallpaper is this way. So I now know that if I draw a straight line against my pole, all I have to do now is find the point at which the pole should penetrate the paper, right? The second part of this tricky situation is a simple measurement by eye. You see this? You see this thing? This is 1.5 inches. Then my pole is almost 2 full inches away from my wallpaper. So, how far away from this bracket is my penetration? It's 1 3/4 inches. So, check this out. Can you show them my thumb to the left of me? I'm feeling where the pole is. I've already measured. And now, can you bring them around the other side? I know that if I penetrate this right here, I'm good. But let me show you where you could easily make the mistake, all right? I'm gonna show you. Here's what you would have done. Oh, honey, give me the knife. Okay, yeah, it's somewhere around right here. Watch this. And then you go like this. Not only is your cut going up this way, because you're not square with the penetration on the wall, it's actually on 45 if you really think about it. You will never make this mistake. You won't mess up big if you simply use logic and put the wall covering at a 90, and then everything else becomes easy. Where the pole enters and where the straight cut line is going to be. I know it's got to be parallel to this line. I know it. In fact, guess what? I could now cut right up against this pole. Ideally, it should be up against the pole, not above it or below it. But it's hard to do that. So I'm gonna break the rule and simply go right along that pole. Simply because I can't ride against it, you know? So now, I bring my paper down, and look at that. Look at that. Do you see how if you didn't have the wallpaper at a 90 with the wall, and therefore with the pole, your line would not be horizontal? It's simple, right, when you think about it. Many of us, when we start out, we just kind of go random with the knife, and guess what? It goes up, down, and you wind up with a pizza pie here. A slice. Okay, so just hold on to that. Let them see the end result. By the way, do you like the paper? I hope you do. This costs an arm. They left off the leg because it wasn't that expensive. Just kidding. It dullens my blade. And okay, so you see these pressure points coming out here? I'm just gonna scratch them. I'm just gonna nick them up. Use my thumbs. Boom, look at that. Nice, okay? Get my smoother in there. Not easy paper to work with, I'm gonna tell you why. It's flimsy. I don't care if it's expensive, it's flimsy. It's a little bit delicate. And I might even say, I don't like using the word cheap, but sometimes really expensive stuff is cheap. Hate to say that. Isn't that right, cameraman? Honestly.
Correct.
And that's a veteran installer. A lot of companies will get you with the name. And you know what? They farm it out. They have somebody else make it. Come on, these companies are practical. And they sell it at the risk of ruining their name, but their names never get ruined. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. That would be like me having somebody, just somebody, install my wallpaper for me. Don't get cocky with this stuff because it does tear and you'll have a rip going up the wallpaper. I just want to show you how my instruction to you, by keeping it at a 90 with this, is the only logical way to do it. And by doing so, you afford yourself the greatest opportunity of having the penetration correctly identified with your guess of where you cut. It's a guess, but it's an educated guess because you're cutting against the pole while the paper is at a 90 with the wall. You can't make a big mistake. And as you can see, there was a little play here, right? Because you have this thing, and then the shelf is going over it, and then if you messed up a little bit, it's okay. Anyway, that's how you cut around brackets coming out of walls. If you're a pro, you already know what you do, whether or not you're going to remove these brackets. I have found in my experience that once you start playing with people's fixtures, they never go back the same way. And you know what? I get paid to hang paper, take it down, not to install fixtures. So I leave them up, and that's how I do it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Any questions, leave it in the section on the bottom.